So the lawyers start asking questions. So the defense attorney goes, Mr. Engvall. I said, yeah. He goes, do you have any problem with homeless people? And I go, no, not at all. In fact, I think we ought to give them jobs. And he goes, really? He goes, what sort of job would you give a homeless person? I said, well, I don't know. I travel all across this country. I see trash all on the freeway. Let's let them pick up trash. And he goes, don't you think that's kind of demeaning? And I said, he's homeless. It's a step up. To get me off the trial. Well, I see the defense guy going, ooh, I like this guy. And I'm like, damn it. So he said, let me ask you another question, Mr. Engvall. He said, if you hear something in this courtroom and the judge tells you to ignore it, will you be able to do that? And I said, I'm glad you asked me that, because I watch Law and Order. I said, not only do I watch it, I'm an addict. I can sing you the song. In the criminal justice system, there are two separate but equal parties. These are their stories. And I said, and I see Jack McCoy pull this little stunt all the time, so no, I will not be able to ignore it. It will affect my decision. He goes, okay, and the defense guy's going, the prosecutor's going, like him. All of a sudden, the judge chimes in. She goes, Mr. Engvall? She goes, what do you do for a living? Well, Your Honor, I'm an entertainer. Oh, really? Well, what sort of entertaining do you do? I'm a comedian. A comedian? Are you successful? First name out of the hat. Engvall. Damn! So they get 30 of us, and we're walking into the courtroom, and the lady who's in charge of the jurors goes, Mr. Engvall? And I said, yeah. And she goes, you're going to be the foreman. I go, oh, no. I'm just trying to get off this trial. And she goes, all you got to do is hand these papers to the bailiff. And I went, oh, okay. So we get into the courtroom. Now we're sitting back in the back of the courtroom, and they call 12 more names. Third name out of the hat, Engvall. Ugh. So now we're all sitting in the jury box. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at the bailiff, and he's looking at me, and I kind of looked at him, and he went like this. He goes, get an autograph. Is that legal? Get me off this trial. I'll sign one for your whole family. Well, so now the judge explains the case to us. And he said, this case today is about a homeless man who got arrested with an 8-ball of cocaine. Well, I first thought is, guilty. Because where does that homeless guy get the money for an 8-ball of coke? Do we need to go through my resume right here? I said, yes, ma'am, I'm fairly successful. And she goes, okay, let me ask you something. I said, what is it? She goes, do you feel that this trial will make it into your act? And I said, without a doubt. Thinking, I'm off. And she goes, okay, that's fine. Just wait till after the trial. So all of a sudden, the prosecutor stands up. He goes, Mr. Engvall, I'm satisfied with your answer. Is there anything else you'd like to tell this court? And I said, yes, there is. I don't think cops would ever tell a lie. And the judge goes, you're excused. Show up. So we all show up that morning, and we're all in the holding area, and there's like 200 of us. And this is where everybody's got their laptops out and their iPods, and all of a sudden the curtain comes up, and they start calling out names. And this is where everybody gets really religious, because they're going, dear God, please don't let them call my name. Please, God, I'm begging you.